Let's see how to calculate the volume of a cone. For that, I'll start by stating the formula for this generic cone that we have here, and then I'll show you how to use it with a worked example. So let's get started. To calculate the volume of a cone, we need two things. The first is the radius of the disk at its base, which we typically call r. The second thing we need is the height of the cone, which we usually call h. And I'll just write that here, h. Provided we have those two things, the radius and the height, then the volume, which I'll call capital V, is equal to 1/3 times pi, so I'll just say 1/3 of pi, times the radius squared, so r squared, times the height, so that's times h. And in fact, I'll box that formula. Do make a note of it. And in fact, I'll read through that again. The volume of a cone is equal to 1/3 times pi times the radius squared times the height. Now let's see how to use that formula with an example. And I'll just write example here, example. Let's say we're dealing with a cone whose radius is 4 meters and whose height is 11 meters. I'll just try and sketch that here. I've got my cone, there we go. And so I said that the radius is 4 meters, and the height, which I'll draw right here, that's this length here, the height is 11 meters. There we go. To calculate this cone's volume, we use our formula replacing the radius r by 4 and the height h by 11. And so we write V for volume equals to 1/3 times pi times the radius squared. And since the radius is 4 meters, I write 4 squared times the cone's height, which is 11 meters. And so I write 11 here. All I have to do now is calculate. And let's see, I'll take care of this 4 squared first. And I can write that this is equal to 1/3 times pi times 4 squared, which is 4 times 4, so that's 16 times 11. And now I'll take care of this product here. I have 16 times 11, which is 176. So this is equal to 1/3 times pi times 176. Next, multiplying 1/3 by 176, we can write that the volume is equal to 176/3 times pi. And we'd write the units cubic meters, or meters cubed. And if we don't have access to a calculator, we could leave this as our final answer. And we could state that this cone's volume is 176/3 of pi cubic meters. On the other hand, if we do have access to a calculator, then we'd be able to calculate 176/3, or divided by 3, times pi. And you can go ahead and check, but in doing so and rounding to one decimal place, I find that the volume is equal to 184.3 cubic meters. And there we go. We've just calculated this cone's volume.